All right, we are going to start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Get With The Programming, and this is a very special update edition of our fan service, a programmable debate. And if I can speak English for the next 30 minutes would be great. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And we have a very special guest, the sub 5-minute miler and 500-pound back squatter himself, Adam Klink. Thank you for joining us on the episode.
Of course, guys. Thanks for having me.
Dude. Okay. So first of all, congrats.
Thank you.
Unreal. And I mean, me and Chase have talked about this kind of stuff for a long time when we were going over the different events for the CrossFit Games, the early CrossFit Games. We talked about, the test and that statement, who's going to have the 500-pound deadlift in the sub 5-minute mile. That was the theory. So here it is. You hop out. You get super close. I'm just going to say that we spawned that. We push you. We push you into doing that. What made you want to do it, man? What made you want to do that?
I feel like it probably all started, the 500-pound squat and the 5-minute mile popped into my head. I think they said it at my L1,
yes,
8 years ago, whenever
that's
that
exactly
was.
where it came from. And
yeah, right?
I was like, there's no way. I mean, that's cute, but there's no way. But then again, I can't do that, so it seemed impossible.
Yeah, so they talk about both ends of the spectrum, the conditioning and the strength aspect of it, and where can a human bring themselves to? So it's always been in the back of my head, and I think just my background in soccer, and then I have trained all of my life, and I got into CrossFit after not being able to play soccer anymore. But I feel like it was just kind of the perfect combo for myself for 2 movements. And just in the back of my head, I was like, I want to give this a go. I think I can do it.
So was that a quarantine thing, or was it?
Or
was it something you've always been thinking about?
So look, I tried this 2 years ago. I put it out there. Dave Castro reposted me. I had a hashtag on my Instagram.
Well, then you had to do it.
Well, yeah. So but again, this was 2 years ago, and I hashtagged the 500 459. That was, what I was going for. And I got to 517 and a 500-pound back squat, and I had to shut down my training because of plantar fasciitis in my foot. So how this kind of came about is myself and Dane Smith were both new dads. And we started.
And congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
I think we scheduled this. We scheduled this around nap time, I believe.
Around nap time, it's the best time for me these days is nap time. But we started a programming called Dad Bod Fitness, and it was meant for. We made, we have a few different tracks, fit workouts, no equipment workouts, bodybuilding workouts, and they're all supposed to take 15 to 20 minutes. And we wanted to launch a different track every couple of months. So this month, or not this month, but the track we're on, it's called Lift Heavy, Run Fast. And so Dane and I both set a goal for ourselves, just because, to try to hit the 500-pound back squat in the mile. And this was probably 3 months ago. So actually everybody on our Dad Bod programming is following exactly what I'm doing a week behind. Now their goals aren't necessarily 500 pounds on the squat or a 5-minute mile. Like I explained, we're going to set attainable goals and we're going to work towards those, but they're getting all of my programming, and then percentage wise, they're doing what they can do. So again, just a goal that we set for ourselves, nothing to do with quarantine. I've just been fairly healthy, so I figured I'd give it another shot.
Man, cool. I tell you what, we were talking a little bit last night because it did come out, and me and Bill were fired up for you because we had on a previous episode we had talked about your 512 mile. So that was like a 500-pound back squat.
That was supposed to be like
Sorry, go ahead. I keep
going. No, you're good. And we compared that to Maliolo's deadlift and marathon, which is hilarious because both of you guys were like, "You're way better than I am," and which was fun. But I mean, to do that then, and then what was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Jeez. 2. And you PR'd by what, 30 seconds then?
Yeah.
And then you just dropped it 16 seconds?
16 seconds. So that's now my all-time.
Yeah, your all-time was when you were younger, right? When you were in high school.
So when I was in high school, I was 45 pounds lighter, and I ran a 4:56. But look, when I ran that was 1,600 meters.
Yeah.
I ran 16:09. So the mile is 16:09. So on the first lap, you got to start 9 meters back. So I did this now. So this would be my all-time PR.
Wow.
Well, let's talk about your background a little bit, because when we were talking last night, the question was, how long have you been training for this? And you're like, well, the technical answer might be we started 3 months ago with your dad bod program, but you really wanted to, and deservedly so, is like, look, what you just did, I thought was impossible when I first heard this out of the What is CrossFit lecture. And we need to give you your credit, is like, you haven't been training for this for 3 months. You've spent your entire almost like athletic career getting ready for this. So go into your background a little bit, and let's start from high school and kind of move our way through. Is what was your background in sports, and then kind of what got you into CrossFit?
Sure, and going along with that, I say that this has taken me 10 probably plus years, and it's just a combination of CrossFit methodology and stuff that I've done in my past. And it just goes to show and prove that like CrossFit works.
Yeah.
And I wish I started.
I've heard about
CrossFit.
that actually.
Weird,
I've heard
right?
that before. It's weird.
Who knew?
But I didn't get into CrossFit until I was 22 years old. I'm 30 now. So, but in high school, I was a multi-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, soccer was my main sport, and it was one of those things like you like what you're good at, and I was the best at soccer. I was a goalkeeper, and it's like you have those guys, and you can be a lot better than everybody in high school. Then you go and get recruited, and you play in college, and I went off to play at Rutgers University as their goalkeeper.
Oh, nice!
And whole different level. I went from being miles ahead of kids to now I'm lowest on the totem pole. I'm not a starter. And the situation I was in at Rutgers, the goalkeeper ahead of me was a 5th-year senior captain. So I just
good luck.
I expected not to play. So my mindset going into college is if I'm not going to be a starter, I want to come in as the fittest person on the team.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And granted, I wasn't as heavy as I was, but in college, came in as a freshman, and we have a fitness test, and we had to run 3 miles in 18 minutes. And
wow.
Yeah. So I was the first freshman and the first goalkeeper ever to win that. I think I ran
dang, dude.
16:44. So I was running like 5:35 miles.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That was like my thing. Like I took pride in being the best at something on the team, even if I knew I wasn't going to be on the field. So I gave him a run, but I was second string, so I got good experience. I got to travel, but I never got in a game my freshman year. And then I played 4 years there. Because I redshirted, I stayed an extra year for my 5th year. I got too many concussions. Started in high school, got concussions throughout the years, but I got 2 pretty close back-to-back. They were probably rushing me back to play a little too soon. I was starting, so you know how it is. I took the concussion test so many times I kind of had it memorized. Even though I wasn't ready. So down and out, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life now. In the back of my head, I was like, I'm gonna go to MLS Combine. I'm gonna play pro somewhere, and that all just came to a halt. So it started off, I got in with the Rutgers football team and started lifting with them.
Okay.
Just on the side. And so I increased my strength there. I think I got up to like 235 pounds. And then I just wasn't ready to be done being an athlete. The doctor said I couldn't do contact sports anymore.
Wow.
So I had this friend who I went to high school with, and just so happened he opened up his gym that December of my 5th year. His name is Ben Smith.
You guys went to high school together?
We graduated the same year. What? I had tons of classes with his wife. He was playing baseball, so like we knew each other in high school, but we weren't buddy because we were kind of playing opposite sports. So he opened his gym in December.
Wow.
I went and I got a 1-month membership. I remember my first workout there was I think we back squatted and then it was like a 500-meter row for time. Like stupid. And I threw up on the ramp. But then, that was back when they took 48 people to regionals. And so I did the open that first year and I made it in like 40th. Like I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I could compete again. No clue what I was doing. I got like, the bottom third at regionals. But then I would go home on the weekends from Rutgers and train while I was there. And Ben was just getting started and he was coaching all the classes. And he sat me down one time and he said, "Hey, what are you doing after college?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be a soccer coach or coach up at Rutgers or something." And he's like, "Well, you want to come down here and coach CrossFit with me?" I said, "Sure."
Okay.
So
awesome.
I skipped my graduation for Rutgers. I competed in the Northeast Regionals that year. And then the next day I drove home and I've literally been coaching at CrossFit Krypton ever since.
No way. My gosh. And what year was that?
That was May of 2013.
Okay.
Did you know, you saw the success that Ben was having back then. He was doing
in high school.
He was like at 19, he was in the games.
Here's a funny story. So the first time I ever heard of Ben Smith, I was maybe a sophomore, and there was, we had flip phones back then, and there was a cell phone picture floating around of this high school kid doing a flagpole on a stop sign. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, this kid Ben Smith." I'm like, "Who is Ben Smith? Like, what the heck? Like, this kid's a freak." So that was the first time I ever heard of Ben.
Oh man, but that's so really cool.
That's
cool. I
cool.
kind of had seen his success, and it was, this is when CrossFit, everything was, you just looked it up online, or it was Ben's videos of him training in his garage.
In the garage.
I knew of his success, and like I wanted to do that. So, I just trusted that the Smiths would take care of me, and I've never looked back. Wow. And I've obviously had an awesome environment to train in for the past 8 years.
Well, at least a place where you can do a whole lot of squats. Those guys, they're all so damn strong. all the way up to Ben's dad. I
was just going to say, did
he do like a 600-pound deadlift or a 550 on one of the qualifiers, I think?
Yeah, he did
during the Masters
600-pound deadlift on his 50th birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was easy, too. Like, he's the strongest one out of all of us.
That is insane. That's insane.
So I think just the environment that I got brought up in, the sports I played between Rutgers and then just being around the Smith brothers and their family, like I've just surrounded myself with people who had that kind of work ethic that I enjoyed and that I put forth too, and we just fed off of each other, and it's just grown from there.
That's amazing.
That's super cool. You want to know one of the craziest things that I think I've seen with a lot of high-end CrossFit athletes is they were all in a sport and something happened. Yeah. Either they got hurt or they, whatever, they had to get taken out for whatever reason. And I've heard that storyline so many times, and this was always the like, I'm not done, but I have no avenue. And then all of a sudden this like golden gate opens up and it allows them chance to, when I got back in, it was the same thing. I'm back in wrestling practice again. I feel like I'm going to throw up and I'm getting beat down by these weights, and I love it.
It was awesome.
It's insane how many people I've talked to that have that same story. That's insane.
Yeah, I think it's just those people, they have that drive that you need in a sport like CrossFit to do well that got them as far as they did in their sport. So I think it translates very well.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, swimming, I swim in college. So the shelf life of a swimmer post-college is like the 0.001%. Continue on.
Basically got to make the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, when I was in college, I was an average swimmer at best, but I was a very good practicer, which annoyed a lot of my teammates. Like that one teammate that always like hustles too much and makes everybody else look like they're being lazy. That was me. I was the hustle hard guy and not necessarily the fast in the meat guy. So for me, finding CrossFit after college was perfect because the only thing I was good at was working hard. Yep. And I wasn't that great in the pool. So I was like, oh, this is the sport? Like, hard work and fitness, I can do that.
Totally.
Kinda. All right, so let's go into this, because I really want people to understand how incredible what you just did. And there's a third part that we haven't even touched on yet, that we were talking about last night. I mean, let's just go piece by piece. Like that mile, right? You PR'd 2 weeks ago by over 30 seconds in a mile. And then 2 weeks later, you've run faster, but
we're talking about like
recently, yes.
Right? Yeah. What's your height and weight now?
6 foot, 216 pounds.
And when you ran your best PR, what were you?
I was 6 foot, 170 pounds.
Okay, so so
those are like two totally different people there. Yeah, totally. Do it with the weight vest on,
and then run a sub 5 minute mile is kind of and so what we want to do for a lot of people is like they hear that like, oh, that sounds really cool or hard. It's like, no, let's really put this in perspective. So, at your new height and weight, what was it?
216.
216.
I weighed myself yesterday.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So 216, 2 weeks ago, you run a 5:12, which I would say is your fastest at your current weight.
Yes.
And
100%.
It's been 10 years since you ran a PR, high school wise.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later, you run a sub 5 minute mile. Like what was the training like over the last, couple of months getting ready for that? Because I think a lot of people is like, there's getting ready for it, and then there's actually doing it. And then there's like that total mental mind F of knowing what you're about to embark on.
Yeah.
For a mile.
Yeah, seriously. It's not as much volume as people would think. And first and foremost, I'm a coach. I coach a bunch of classes every day. I'm a dad. I take care of my son in the middle of the day. I'm a husband. So I'm lucky if I get 2 sessions in a day. And my sessions are like 45 minutes to an hour a lot of times. Like my
45 seconds. Sign me up for that dad bod program. 45 seconds and I get to run a
That's better than 8 minute abs right there. 45 seconds to a 5 minute mile. Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not going to the gym, and I don't have the luxury to work out for 2 or 3 hours at a time every day. So my training was very focused, and my runs were never longer than like 20 minutes of work. I would run Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so 3 times a week. I would back squat 2 times a week, so Tuesday, Thursday. And I've done Smolov throughout the years. I've done every squat program that just makes your knees ache. And
Smolov is the worst.
You get to a point where like your joints just hurt. So I've kind of taken different programs and made my own programming for squatting, where it's like 4 to 5 working sets. And I did that Tuesday and Thursday. I'd go a little lighter volume day and then a little heavier day. And then as we got closer, so probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, on a Friday, after my run on a Friday, so end of the week, I ran 3 times, I've squatted twice, I would hit 500 pounds just to gain the confidence so that whenever I
hit it on a weekly basis?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that seems crazy, but yeah, I've just built up to that I could.
That is crazy. It doesn't seem crazy. That is crazy.
Well, that's like that's a power. That's a full blown power lifter mentality. I just want to be able to hit it. I want to be able to. I want to be able to do 500. I know that I'm there. I can keep that weight on me. I know I'm in the ballpark. Could you have your 550? That's what your 1 rep max is.
Yeah, but I like trained specifically to hit that.
Totally,
like,
but I mean, you've been into that area, so you want to keep your kind of foot in the doorway of that 500-pound realm.
Correct. Now, when I kind of tested my squat, I was about 465, so I had to build back up to that 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But I feel like once you've been up there, it's easier to get back up there, if that makes sense.
Man, dude, I'm so far away from that. I feel like I'd be watching it from like the drive-ins. That's how far back I would be.
I have never actually attempted to unrack 500 pounds. So like this is still kind of outside the realm of comprehension for me.
It's all relative, right?
No, that's heavy. That's really heavy. Relative or not, that's really heavy. So, you're training a lot of your programming exclusively kind of between the two, getting ready for this. And again, you said this is 10 years of training leading up to this. And some of the conversations I had with people, and they're like, oh man, that sound like a 500-pound back squat is like, they're like, you could run a sub 5 minute mile. I was like, if I trained for it, maybe, like a hard maybe. But I would have to sacrifice, and this is the point, like I would have to sacrifice everything on the strength side. Mm-hmm. Not that I have a lot to sacrifice to get that time. And I think that's the big thing is like one of these by itself to someone who specifically does that might not seem like the most impressive thing. Although I think you can talk to anyone, and if your mile starts with 4 anything, a lot of respect needs to be shown. And same with back squat 5 anything. But it's the combination of the two that is the most incredible part about this, because let's go to your 456 in high school, and you're 6 foot 170.
Oh, I couldn't squat 300 pounds.
Yeah. And so now let's take a look at when you were exclusively training for, say, your PR and back squat at 550. What'd your mile look like then?
My mile would be like 630.
Exactly. All right. So now that's kind of the perspective I really want people to understand is like, it's not just the individual accomplishments. It's the combo of the two. That just absolutely blows my mind.
Think about if you just take a comic book version of, think of a runner. If you look at the marathoners that run sub 5 minute miles all the way through the 24 miles that they have, which is disgusting, by the way. But take a look at what that athlete looks like physically. They're built for running. Like their body is set up to do that work. And if you look at a power lifter, they're built for that. So like that's what makes this test so unique is, and this is from way back in like my start of CrossFit, and even the idea of what got me into it was, okay, so now you have this training regimen that's going to be able to get you both of those, yet you don't necessarily look like either of them. You don't necessarily look like a full-blown powerlifting, fullback football player, whatever, or the Kenyan running gazelle that's over here bounding, through all the miles that they have to do. That, I think that's the part that's so crazy. And that was such a dream kind of accomplishment.
It's a myth.
Totally.
There's a myth.
The fact that it can even be done now, the fact that you did do it makes me sit back and go like, okay, well, so if that now is possible, what becomes the new myth now?
Yeah, like is it 550 and 430? Like, what does it become? I don't know.
And this was
let's not get crazy here.
Well, and I was laughing when I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, okay, Adam just did this, and I remember. You're such a good athlete, dude. The only thing, and I'm hoping that over the course of the years, that this one little piece, the one piece that kept you out, handstand walking. Yeah. So like if we went from the mile to the run to the lifting, that like now there almost has to be like a triad of some sort of gymnastic in there. So whether it's a pull up or if it's a handstand walking or whatever. So I was like, Adam is in there. If it's handstand walking, oh man, we just lost Adam.
Yep,
what happened?
Hey, it's haunted me for years, man. But you know what? It's okay.
No,
hey,
no.
Your handstand walk is my deadlift. So
yeah, we all have one of those things. But
if it wasn't for a 315-pound deadlift, I'd be a 3-time CrossFit Games athlete.
Right, dude. It's something for everybody, right? Except those 5 guys that make it.
Oh man.
Okay, so Bill, to your point, to where you're going, actually, is that Adam's third part he did, and was it brought on by Dave Castro specifically?
Yeah, because he wrote it in his book, right? Remember, he wrote in his book that like the ultimate athlete would be able to run a sub 5 minute mile, hit a 500-pound back squat, and he wanted to add some sort of gymnastics endurance component to kind of complete the triangle. So he said 50 pull-ups, and I've messaged him multiple times to make sure he was skipping pull-ups.
Yeah,
I said, big boy ain't doing 50 strict pull-ups.
Yeah. No. So you
did. Was that supposed to be unbroken?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did. I did it just to.
I like it. So I did.
Dave, because I know that.
No problem.
But like, think about it. He's programmed that at regionals. Remember, like 64 pull-ups.
Right.
And squats. We've done that before. Like, honestly, I haven't done a pull-up in months. Don't tell anybody.
So you haven't done a pull-ups in months, and you went out there and did 50 unbroken pull-ups?
I'm so sore.
Your lats are ripped out of your armpits right now.
Yeah, I was like, if I hit the mile and I hit the back squat, I can hang on for 50 pull-ups. So I did that for Dave because he put that in his book. I was hesitant to put that on the YouTube video just because the keyboard warriors are probably going to tear me up for the
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Totally.
So
yeah, they're not doing any of those three, so that's fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So walk us. Let's go piece by piece. Let's just walk us through the mile.
No, wait, no. Back up on that. Back up on that. Start the morning you got up before you knew you were going to be hitting this stuff. Like, what was going through your head? Like, okay, Here we go. Like, what's the time frame that you had from one thing to the next thing? How does that? Because you're looking at it like competition day.
Yeah, and you guys threw out the same hour, and honestly, after I ran the mile, like there was zero shot. I don't know if I could squat 225 pounds.
Okay, so now that's a huge important deal.
That's a big detail that people need to know, and I know you threw that out there. And I have tested. I've run a mile and done a back squat, but my numbers were way down.
Yeah.
I mean, anyways, I'll get to the mile. So anyways, I woke up at 7. My son gets up at 7, and I could have very well run earlier, but I wanted my wife and son to be there just because every Sunday that was like our thing. We went to the track.
That's cool.
Workout. Mama would run with Noah. I'd do my workout. Rick, my running coach, would come, and it was just like our thing. So it's 93 degrees yesterday.
Okay.
Wow.
83 degrees when we get out there to run. So it's hot. It's hot, and I don't know if you've ever been to Chesapeake, Virginia, but like the air is water. Like it's so humid.
Ew.
So if somebody else does this, I'm literally going to ask what the temperature was.
Temperature,
I think that's
humidity.
Valid.
Yeah. But anyways, we did our morning routine. I had a bowl of oatmeal, got ready. We went out to the track, got to the track around 9. And this day I decided to have a pacer. So people can say what they want about that, but I still ran that mile with my own two feet.
A pacer will not make me faster.
Yeah.
I'll know my pace,
weird.
But
it helps you shut your brain off while you run. Right.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of focus on who's running ahead of you and run, but it doesn't make it hurt any less.
Right. Right. Doesn't make it any easier.
Who the hell is going to say anything about that?
I don't know. People always say stuff about something.
You never know these days, Bill.
That's true.
So I get out to the track, and I mean the whole morning. That's all I can think about. And when that happens, I kind of get quiet and keep to myself a little bit more, and I'm not as outgoing, and I just get nervous. And quite honestly, I was more nervous for this than I have ever been, except for maybe my first regionals. And I don't know why. There was no money on the line. There's no trophy. I gained nothing. I just wanted to do it for myself. I just wanted to.
Yeah, but it got real public, dude. You're welcome on that, by the way. I don't mean that. I meant more like we are the ones that did that to you. We put that pressure on you by going, let's look at what he's doing now.
It's okay. I welcomed it, and it's, I don't know. It's blowing up more than yesterday I kind of went through it and did it, and I was like, that's cool. I did it, and it's kind of blowing up today, which is kind of crazy.
Good.
But anyway, so I mean, I felt like I was going to throw up before I raced. You know the thing where you go take a dump 3 times and you're peeing every 5 minutes, that sort of thing. So, we warm up, and my pacer, her name is Amanda Smith. She ran for Virginia Tech, and she was one of the top runners in the country. This girl runs a 4:32 mile.
Holy crap!
So. Effortless run. If you've ever seen, you talk about the Kenyans running, this sort of effortless running at the pace she was pacing me at.
Wow.
So, she ran 3 laps with me, and really cool, which brings us full circle. I ran half a season of track. My 8th grade history teacher was a track coach for the school. Every day he knew I was a pretty fast runner. He said, "Hey, why don't you run with a purpose as opposed to run around kicking a soccer ball?" And so I finally got out to the track team, but anyways, he came and paced me for my last lap.
Oh no!
That was really cool. I literally haven't seen this guy since 8th grade.
Are you serious?
So
8th grade?
15 years later, this guy rolls up to the track. I haven't seen him, and he paced me for the last lap. So that's just something cool on my end.
Oh, that's awesome.
How fast can he run?
Sub 5 minute mile.
Oh my gosh!
All these guys are freaks. Like they're crazy to me. But so we run the mile. The first 2 laps, I honestly felt really good. I was taking, deep breaths while I was breathing. I was holding my position well. When you get to the point where you're running, where you're like, it's like every step is a breath. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't there yet, right? And I was right on pace, and I think I was at 2:58 at the halfway. No, 2:28 at the halfway point. So I was two seconds ahead. So I was feeling pretty confident. And the third lap, it starts to get real, as it always does. The third lap is the hardest. And I remember rounding the first turn and being like, I don't want to run this thing again. Like, like, hang on, bro. Like, so I'm hanging on Amanda's heels, and we're right on pace going around that 200 and then coming back, and then we switch off. And my running coach says, all right, you got 76 seconds. You run a sub 116, you got it. And I knew at that point, I was confident I could hit it, because when I ran the 5:12, my last lap was 1:15. So I chased my coach in front of me, and I did everything I could, and I actually went a 1:11. So
wow,
I solidly hit sub 5 minutes. But I mean, that was one of those runs where like you collapse when you're done. Like, my butt was burning so bad. It was all butt for me running, but I mean, I felt like I was going to throw up. It felt like that, but it was one of those things, like you hear everybody cheering, and I mean, just the relief from hearing 4 something for the time. Like, I mean, it was kind of a surreal experience.
Was your pacer talking to you at all during the run?
Oh my God.
Well, because I'm just imagine her like running and kind of running backwards. And she's like, come on.
Yeah, she is. She's like, come on, Evan, you got it. And I'm like,
my gosh. No. Well, and I wondered what the finish would look like, because when you hit your 5:12, you're like, okay, so that was 5:12. Dane's over like passing out, rolling around on the ground. You're like, okay, so that wasn't too bad. Everything's fine.
Well, I was Dane this time.
No, wow. Crazy.
So, but you'll get to, it comes out in 20 minutes. The YouTube video will go up and you guys can watch it.
Dude.
Oh, we're going to see it.
How long did it take to recover from that feeling wise before you started to even think about the back squat?
I felt that like deep burn in my lungs for a couple hours after. So I ran it was probably about 9:30 in the morning that I actually ran and did the mile. It took me a while to get back around the track, because we were parked on the other side. But just talking to people, and the people that were there and came out was pretty cool. I had a lot of support. And
then when did you
did you decide to do the squat? Yeah, like what did you decide? Like, I feel rested now, or did you have a plan?
Here's why I chose to do this 2 weeks after, and not, I had originally said I was going to train another 4 weeks and then try to hit it, is because, again, I have very bad plantar fasciitis in my heel. And it was literally either I was going to do this weekend, or I was going to shut down training again.
Jeez.
So I kind of just sucked it up for one more good attempt. So that was my plan, to do everything. Like I was hitting this, and I was
last chance.
Yeah. And so you guys talked about it on your podcast, and I think the first time, and I think you guys had asked me the question, but I'm far more confident in my squat. So after I hit the mile, I was super relieved. I ate a whole bunch of carbs. I didn't sleep. I had to do programming for the gym and for pod. And then we rolled back up to the gym around 3:30, and I hit my squat around 4. So I had a good amount of time. Yeah. But I definitely I took a real hot bath to try to loosen my foot up. I felt like I just ran a full effort mile for that.
Wow.
Okay, so I know you had other things happening. What do you think would have been the earliest time between the two that you could have done, that you could have hit that? I mean, and the good thing is you are confident in your squat, like you're talking about, but what do you think you could have done?
I probably would have needed 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I think an hour would have been that. I don't think I would have been able to do that.
Now, did you make those ridiculous jumps like you did the first time again?
Yeah, I always do that. Yeah.
I can do that with 15s.
I can go from 135 to 225. That's sweet.
That was something Chuck always said. There's only blue and green plates.
Oh man, Chuck.
So
Dang.
good.
And then so back squat, and then you just tack the pull-ups on at the end there.
Yeah, you'll see it in the video. I kind of make a joke of it.
That's awesome.
Do you think? Okay, well, that's awesome. I gotta ask. Do you think the 50 pull-ups is equal to the sub 5 minute mile? What do you think it should be? 100 pull-ups, or would it be like?
But the thing is, I could have done more
time.
How about 30 ring muscle ups?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think like 30 ring muscle ups unbroken would be equivalent.
I think that would be, because I know guys like a couple can do it.
And I could probably do 20 right now, but 30, but again, like I would actually have to train to hit 30. I think for the back squat and the run.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Are we talking unbroken?
But hey, no, don't put this out there. Yeah. I'm very happy.
No, not for you. Not for you. We're not gonna. Yeah. You
you're good, man.
What I never thought could be accomplished. So let's just put that out there. Now we're just having fun. But
now we're in the clouds right now.
I would
like
put out
you crushed that.
I don't think anybody would be able to do it and do the 30 muscle ups.
There you go.
That's perfect, because no one was supposed to do this one, man. That's exactly what we wanted. That was exactly what we wanted. You're the only person. Well, there was that one guy, Chad. He sent us some information about that guy. I think he did.
Alex Vidal.
He did that deadlift and the ultra.
So he has the back squat, he has the mile, but he's never done them around the same time frame.
Right.
Not even he probably hasn't even done them like within the same month.
Right.
No. You know what I'm saying? Like he trains specifically for different things. So, and that's the only person I've heard about that has maybe done it, but there's no evidence that he's done it on the same day.
Yeah.
He just has those stats. It's like I could have put in my
right.
I run a 4:56 mile, but that was 15 years ago.
Right.
Hey, I've done that with my 5K. Don't talk shit about that. Ran that in college. All right, so let's do some fun things. Okay. I got two things. Is what, and we touched on this on the podcast last time, but we're talking about like what a event structure you think would be neat to see. And I would say even at the CrossFit Games to showcase like how amazing of a feat this is. I think at least right off the bat, the structure needs to go squat run. Yeah. Just to make it more doable.
Yeah. I think you guys nailed it when as I listened to your podcast the first time you have a 10-minute window to max out your back squat or so many attempts in so many minutes. And then there's maybe.
Ooh, I like the attempts.
Yeah, right. So maybe you get maybe you get to unrack the bar 10 times.
Oh,
or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually really good.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You might have a 3 or even, I don't care, 5-minute rest, whatever. And then it'd be a mile run. I don't think that anybody would get close to 500. And now I bet you would see somebody hit a 500-pound back squat,
right?
But then they'd be middle of the end of the pack in the mile. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Golly, I think that would be a really cool. And I was trying to rack my brain on how to score something like that.
I think it's just two events.
I thought 2 events, or if you comboed it, it'd be
I think you have to combo
pounds. Your pounds minus the seconds of your run.
Maybe it's 3 scores. Maybe it's 50 points for the squat, 50 points for the run, and then there's 100 points for your like some way to total it as an average. You know,
because for me it's like, okay, say you got 500 pounds, you run a 5-minute mile. That's 360. So like the highest number would actually be the best score because you'd have the highest starting value and the lowest time value.
Yeah.
Right.
Although you'd see a lot of negatives in there.
What if they do that at the ranch of the other games this year? That'd be cool.
I mean,
the thing is that like that's an
they got to keep it simple
like that. You know,
they got to keep it simple at the ranch, right?
That's simple, but that's brutal.
Yeah, it is. Dude. It is.
And then a 5-minute break and a 1 attempt at max unbroken ring muscle ups. There we go.
Dude,
hit your trifecta.
There it is.
Cool. It'd be cool. I think that would be one of the most watched events ever if they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it'd be a good kind of baseline to see because the squat wouldn't really take away from the mile.
I mean, yes and no.
Definitely not the other way.
Not the way the mile takes away from the squat. Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I think that'd be cool to see. Although I don't know how well your muscle ups are going to go after.
After running
that mile. Maybe we'll go back squat, muscle up, mile.
it's funny. It's like whatever you're better at, you obviously want to do second. Like I wanted to be as fresh as I could for the mile. Like if I hit the squat in the morning, it's like in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I could run that mile.
True.
No matter how long I waited, I don't, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of the fun part. So the second fun one was, you know, this 500-pound back squat and 5-minute mile was always kind of predicated around a male athlete. And, you know, me and Bill were talking off our podcast, and this question got posed to us too, was what do you think a good women's equivalent would be to this? And I think the one that me and Bill threw out was, I said a 350-pound back squat.
I agree with
and
that.
A 5:30 mile.
No, it's got to be 5. The girls.
Oh, you want to keep it at 5?
Girls are just as fast as guys. Like that. The distance.
That's true.
The distance should be scaled for your sex. Like I don't think men are necessarily that much faster than women. I don't know.
I guess especially. I think I was thinking more like monostructural, like a row or a bike. But when you're talking about just pure running, I think
pure running, like it's all.
Yeah, but that's a power output thing. You're totally right, and I think that's something that we have fallen into that trap. And just like with the box jumps, like no one said that you're extra high or you're not extra high, or you're extra tall or whatever. Why?
Yeah,
5'6"
is there a 4 and a 20?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. I think that, and sorry, ladies, but I think women get too scaled sometimes. Like I think women
empowering them.
No, absolutely. I think these women are way more capable than we're almost giving them credit for, right?
Another level.
Yeah, like dude, those scaled weights are not equivalent anymore at the top level. I understand that for the open and for the general population, they're correct, but like at the top level, like these chicks are so strong.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They need heavier barbells. I mean, they're
amazing.
They're crushing the guys' times in events now.
Yeah,
it's like just make me feel better about myself and give them heavier weights.
No, but I think 350 squat. But I think you got to keep the mile the same. Honestly,
keep the mile at 5. Yeah, you're right. I was
because the girl I ran with was 432.
I was gonna say, what's her back squat?
I don't know. Not a lot.
Well, that would be
just do an air squat. That's
find it out. Find that. Yeah, totally. Find it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a lot. She's a runner.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that type of time, and that's what we keep touching on, you know, is like, I misnamed the lectures, but like, you know, in the what is CrossFit, it's that paradox, the super fast runner or the super strong power lifter and the sacrifices that they had to make to get those feats that are, you know, the best in the world ever of all time. And specialists have to specialize. So, you know, that's why we are making such a big deal about what you did, was because that, you know, I had this conversation actually this morning with people and they're like, you know, I think I could do that mile if I really trained for it. I was like, probably not. But if you did, what would you have to give up to get that? And for everyone, it's everything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Everything. Or flip the back. I mean, there's like, 500-pound back. So it's like, you know how long you'd have to train to get a 500-pound back squat? And even if you did, what would your mile look like after that?
So long. Like I want to tell everybody that 8 years ago, I maxed out my squat at 405, and we at Krypton squat multiple times a week, every week for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's what it's taken to get my squat up 100 pounds.
8 years.
And it sounds so good on paper. Like all those people that have done like the Smolovs and all that kind of stuff, just remember that third week when like you really don't want to squat ever again. You're like, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah. So it all sounds great on paper. I can work my way to a 500-pound back squat. And then you get in there and you're like, I don't want anything to do with the 500-pound back squat ever again.
I want people to know that in those 8 years, I've probably done this full Smolov 3 times, the 13-week one, and I've probably done the Smolov Junior 10 times. I'm always on whatever squat cycle I'm programming. Like it's just constantly. I finish one, I max out, I go on to another one. I rest 2 weeks, I go on to another one. It's like I always got to have some sort of structure like that, and some of those programs are just easy to follow rather than writing up your own stuff.
And yet during this entire time, you're qualifying for regionals, you're vying for games positions while you're doing this. So it's not like you're just a back squat mile specialist, if we can make that a disrespectful term of what you just did. It's like you still have everything else in between at a high level. Handstand walks aside, I mean, you're right there with the best athletes in the entire world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, and while I was doing this training, I mean, I was still doing my normal training. Like I was still getting in 1 to 2 hard workouts a day, partner workouts with Ben, getting crushed by Ben. So
I was going to say, how fun is that?
Yeah.
They're pretty,
You're done? I have to go again?
Yeah, it depends what we're doing, but I mean, I love working out with him.
Man.
Very cool. Very cool.
Adam, look, congratulations, man. Again, totally. I never thought that this could actually be accomplished when I first heard it at my level 1 seminar. And then the fact that you almost did it 2 weeks ago and then came back and just absolutely crushed it. 456 mile, 500-pound back squat. And then just for funsies, 50 unbroken, kipping pull-ups to hit kind of all 3 right there. But man, look, I hope people can truly understand how incredible this is of what you accomplished. And you said your YouTube video is coming out. Where can people go find that?
I don't know. I'm a newbie to YouTube, so whatever my YouTube.
Like on my computer, you can just go in your computer. There are files in the computer.
Dude, I just started doing all this. Like literally, like Ben and I are the worst at social media. Like we've had to start getting better. But like,
I'm surprised Ben has a cell phone. Honestly, that guy's like an 80-year-old man trapped in a 30-year-old man's
He just got a new cell phone. The kid had the oldest cell. Like you couldn't even like send him a video. I don't know. Search Adam Klink and it'll come up.
You're gonna post it on your Instagram page. I know that for sure. So where can they find you on Instagram?
It's just at Adam Klink. Nice and simple.
Dude, hey, look, thanks for hopping on. I know you're a new dad. Congratulations. And how old's your boy?
He is almost 1.5 years.
Wow. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah, we're in you can't leave him for a second stage.
Oh yeah.
They start to get fun though. They start to walk around, to talk.
He's so fun. In the video I got some clips of him and he's talking and it's awesome. I love it.
That is cool.
That's awesome. Dude, hey, again, thank you for jumping on. Congratulations.
Yeah.
The new bar has been set now that we've kind of raised it after what you've done.
Yeah, I'm sure people
unbelievable feat.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Congrats, brother. Congrats.
Thanks for hopping on. All right, guys. That was our update episode with Adam Klink. Adam Klink, again, congratulations and thank you for joining us.
Thanks.